Hi folks, welcome back to my channel today. As you can see, I've upgraded again from the Boardman hardtail to a BOSSNUT full suspension mountain bike. Obviously, I didn't buy it new, I bought it second hand, and it's more a second hand review that I'm going to try to do today. It's a very good bike for the money, around about £1,100 when it's new. I think I've paid roughly about £5.50 for it, so roughly about half of what it was when it was new. Now, would I have paid the full price for it if I was going into a shop now, and would I pay £1,100 for this? The answer, surprisingly, is actually no. I just find, apart from it being a very good bike, it's a very heavy bike. Now, the reason being, as I say, it's not got a Holotech bottom bracket. It's just a solid bottom bracket. That, I think, is adding to the weight, amongst other things. I've never liked the Trail Boss, I think it's WMP tyres. I've always preferred lighter tyres than that. In fact, these ones are needing replaced, so I'm going to replace them. Now, what's the good things going for the bike? Well, it's a very sturdy bike. It's strong. It'll be very good for doing trails, probably good for doing downhill as well if you aren't too particular. It's got air shocks. It's the Recon by RockShox. It's air. Very reliable. The only thing that I've got against it is it's not got a cable on the actual handlebar to do the lockout. But as I say, I mainly use it on lock mode, when I'm going along my trails, rather than the full suspension mode. The tyres, very chunky tyres, good brakes, although I would say, since I've got it, it probably does need a bleed and possibly a new set of pads. Now the actual brakes are level T, they're SRAM. Adequate, good brakes. The bracket, sorry, the headstock here is actually tapered, so it's only a certain shock that will fit into it. Sorry about all the traffic going by, folks, but here it's a nightmare for doing videos, for background noise with traffic, etc. But it's a nice bike. It's got the BOSSNUT stickers underneath it. Now, the rear shock, nothing special, again just a basic standard RockShox, which is adequate for the bike. It does the job. Folks, remember as well, when you're buying a second-hand bike, you've kind of got to allow for things you might want to change, like the pedals, which these ones are just standard ones. Also, wear and tear on a tyre, that would be another sort of 20 quid or so. Again, a wee bit sort of out the saddle, you might want to change the saddle. Also, perhaps, brake pads. I find I'm possibly needing brake pads, and possibly the brakes needing blades. So all in all, you're probably talking about maybe about £50 to £70 needing spent on it. So it's bringing it up to over £600. It's getting more expensive as it goes on, but it's still a lot better than paying the £1,100 for the new one. So budget maybe between £50 and £100 if you're buying a second-hand bike, to maybe have to do a few repairs like brakes, or put a saddle on, or perhaps change the pedals, etc. So just bear it in mind. So okay, looking at the bike from the front, it looks pretty smart to me. I would say it's a lovely looking bike. Walking right down and up to the back of the bike. It does look the part. Just bear in mind, folks, the things that I've said, you might have to spend maybe £50 to £100 on a second-hand bike, purely because it's been ridden and things have worn out, etc. But overall, I would give the bike, out of 10, I would give it 7. And As I say, I feel that's a fair rating. It's not the worst, it's not the best, but it's good. And should you go and buy one, make your own mind up, and just what I've actually said. Now, the main reason I did buy it, you know, I wanted a full suspension. It did come along at a fair price, but apart from that, I just wanted to have a full suspension that was a 27.5 rather than a 29. I've got a very small hut, unfortunately, and I feel a 29 just wouldn't have actually fitted in because we've got inches to spare. And I do like driving, you know, the 27.5, or I should say cycling a 27.5 rather than a 29. It's always been my preference. When I used to have racing bikes, you know, you were on that kind of size of tyre, the 29, but I do prefer the 27.5 as I get older, and I feel it's a safer tyre for me to be on. And it does weigh slightly lighter, so you've got to sort of consider that as well. There's not an awful lot of 27.5s at the moment. It's all 29ers, so if you're looking for a 27.5, it is quite limited, so just bear that in mind as well, depending on what sort of wheel set or what sort of tyre size you want. Well folks, I'm going to take the bike out in a wee spin right now and show you just what it's like out on the road. I'm filming this with Insta360, so just to try to get an overall view of just what's happening this morning. Right. It's another lovely morning folks, and good to be out on a bike again. It's middle of September, it's getting a wee bit colder, so as I say, mind when you're out on your bike to sort of wrap up kind of warm. It's sunny today, but you know, it's about maybe 10 degrees right now, which isn't too bad. Overall, this summer has been pretty good. We can't complain. It's been sunny most of the days, and in living memory, I can't remember a summer just being as good as this since I was a little boy. So we've managed to get out and about, and we've seen a lot this year, so let's see what the winter brings in the next few months. I'm going to still try to get out on the bike, show the 4 different seasons of the year, and I'm still managing to keep fit even though I'm 64. Mind you, some mornings I don't want to get out of my bed, but got to keep going. That's what it's all about, that's what the channel is all about. And it's what Churchill says, when things are getting tough, keep going. So that's what it's all about folks. These are roads I've got to get off the bike. It's a corner I've hit quite a few times over the years in cycling there. But yeah, another great morning.
As I say, first time I've been out on this bike, so just putting it through its paces. It's good to be back on a mountain bike, on a manual bike again, rather than the Brompton with a switch kit. It just, it's a different ball game. You've got to work harder, obviously, than not on a non-electric bike. And I've got to admit, it's getting me fitter, because I feel when I was on the Brompton, though it's a great bike, you know, with electrics, I was getting a wee bit lazy. It was time to just sort of try and sort of build up a wee bit of stamina again. So that's me, hopefully for the winter, trying to, you know, keep fit on the mountain bike, non-electric. I feel sometimes it's better, you know, anyway with the 27.5. I just like the look of the bike better and the feel of it. I feel the 29 on a mountain bike is just a wee bit too cumbersome, a bit too big. I know it rolls better and all that, but I think the 27's for me. I mean, this is a hill I'm going to see if I can get round this corner this morning. It's really tight onto the lamp post, and I have actually slid off the bike here before, but I've made it today. One of my tyres at the back's a wee bit, you know, needing changed. It's low on tread. So folks, I hope you've enjoyed this wee video this morning, and if you have, would you maybe like and subscribe to my channel? That would be great. It keeps me making the videos, keeps me going, and folks, we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.